Hi guys, it's Parissa. Hope you guys are all doing well. It's Friday. I just wanted to come on here. I know a lot of you guys been waiting for this live that I posted about. A lot of you guys are messaging me saying that you're very excited about it. With my friend Melissa, she has a pretty incredible story, and I'm very excited to share this with you guys all. Hopefully, she'll jump on in a minute, and I will add her. So basically, guys, if you know anybody right now that deals with anxiety, panic attacks, that deals with like fibromyalgia, gut issues, even has problems losing weight, I would highly suggest you guys share this video with them. Just press share or just tag them below. Because honestly, Melissa's gone through all of these. She's going to be talking from experience. This is going to be time well spent on this call. Tap. Definitely time well spent. So I'm very excited. And you guys, just let us know where you're jumping on, where you're watching from, and if you're watching it on replay, let us know you're watching it on replay. So it's just add her now. Hi, Melissa. How's it going?
Good. How can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Loud and clear.
Okay, I should have got my headset, but that's good. That's okay. Oh well.
I
I
only
think
do
it's
it
good.
because I have my phone in well, I had it in a stand, but it won't let me.
No, you were good the other way. Yep.
No, that's what I mean. It won't let me rotate my phone, so I can't keep it in my holder. It's okay.
Oh, I'm actually using a new holder today, so it's kind of exciting. I get to sit on the couch and have hands free, so that's good.
Yeah, that's how I was.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So I was just letting people know to share this video with anyone that they know that deals with anxiety and, panic attacks or just wants to lose weight in the sense of they don't feel like their gut's healthy. Just share it because that's what we're here for, to share our experience, your experience. I reached out to you a year ago. That's how we met, right? And
Mm-hmm.
just like personally, we met over a year and a half ago when I started doing the Transform Your Body. And I really wanted to kind of know your story because you had such a big transformation. And I was like, how did you do it? I was because I was skeptical. I'm like, really? Like you look like that and like this, you know what I mean? Remember I called you and I was like, what? Tell me what you did. So, um, and it's so fitting that we're doing this on the first day of March, which is Transform Your Body for
That's
Physique. It
right.
just happened, right?
True.
We
True.
we've been trying to do this live for like months now, and it just keeps getting pushed back, and now here we are.
The universe has a funny way of working things out.
For sure. So I guess yeah,
Hey,
just kind
Karen.
of like tell us a story, tell us where this begins, tell us about how your life was a few years ago, kind of before you started to heal yourself. Love to hear it.
Oh, well, I mean, if we went way back, it started when I was in my early 20s, and I just kind of woke up one day and felt off. And back then, I would have been having panic attacks, but not knowing that they were panic attacks, right? And in my, I want to say I was probably about 23 years old when they said, you know what, you've got cancer, you've got colitis, you've got ulcerative colitis. They just started diagnosing me with all these intestinal issues because I literally went from being able to eat to not being able to keep anything inside of my body at all. And
Hmm.
the layman's term would have been intestinal bowel disease or inflammatory bowel disease. And I learned how to manage it. I managed it with Gravol and Imodium and other fun things for 20-year-olds to have to deal with. But in October, so I gave birth to my first son in 2009. I got married. I lived a normal life. Life was good. In 2009, I gave birth to my son, and I I gained a lot of weight with my son because I went from not being able to eat anything to being able to eat everything. Like even my gluten intolerance went away for that time period. So I lived on like Wendy's Baconators and poutine and hot wings. That was like
Oh, poutine.
my
Don't tell me now.
like my meal of choice. Dairy Queen onion rings. I gained a solid 86 or something pounds with my son.
Hmm.
And I
During
did
the
not
pregnancy and after, or just after you gave birth?
during the pregnancy.
And after. Okay, yeah.
During the pregnancy. And afterwards, I was just miserable. I was miserable with how I looked, and I took on an emotional eating habit So I
Yeah.
started to eat my feelings and eat my emotions, and I
So
just
common.
kind of shut down. Yeah, very common. And then in 2012, I got pregnant with my daughter, and I was sick. I knew she was not a boy by the fact of how sick I was. And I lost all of my before weight. And
Mm-hmm.
I was not in a good place. I was really small trying to carry this baby to term. Well, when I gave birth to her, they had put me on some antibiotics to help with this whatever giving birth, and I it cleared out my intestinal lining of all good bacteria, which gave it an environment for a bacteria called Clostridium difficile to grow. And this Clostridium difficile took over my body. And for those that don't know, that is like I had uncontrollable bowel movements.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely painful, and I was extremely contagious. So I would have to bleach any surfaces. And I had a newborn baby and a toddler and a husband who worked away. And my parents, like my mom would live with me, and then my nana would live with me, and my sister would live with me. But you know, most people get postpartum depression. That's
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
common. I got
Imagine.
postpartum anxiety,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and which led to a severe panic disorder. For I would learn, my body would learn to start having multiple panic attacks a day. And at the very height of it, when I was introduced to all of this, I was looking at a psych facility to check into, because I just there was no more. I wasn't able to leave my house. I'd been in my house for like a year unless I had to get groceries. And I mean, we had a nanny living with us. There was no more of me left. I was at that
Oh
kind
my
of,
God.
breaking point. I was all done. And during this time, I lived on plain chips and French fries, like carbs. So I was like 80 some odd pounds overweight. I was unhappy. I was miserable, and I was having multiple panic attacks a day, and I wasn't able to parent my kids, and I wasn't a wife. I wasn't even a human anymore. It was a miserable existence.
It's yeah, it sounds really difficult. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Like, I mean, I know like when I first heard it and like just having it happen so close to like when you have newborn babies and a toddler, like that in itself is so overwhelming. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like dealing with this extra thing. I'm sure for your husband it was difficult. So I can't imagine. That's why I was like, I need to share your story because I can't imagine just like kind of what you've been going through.
I never thought about my husband until like after, which is
Mhm.
selfish. I'm sorry, husband, if you're watching this. But I mean, I was always very involved with me, and I was super worried about the kids. Like I always thought, gosh, like my kids, they deserve a better parent. They deserve so much more than this. Their dad's away at work, and their mom can't get out of bed, or she can't leave the bathroom, or she's constantly popping pills so that she can function through the day. Like
Mhm.
it just it was I never ever thought about me, and I guess that was probably part of the problem too, right? Is that if I had spent any time thinking about how can I stop this? How can I make this better? I might have probably come to a solution a lot sooner than I did. And
Mhm.
he lives with like a now if I get sick, he's all worried that we're going to be back in the hospital and things are going to go
Mhm.
bad. And so everybody is affected 100% by the aftermath of um, disease and anxiety.
So how did you end up dealing with like your anxiety? Like what did you end up doing?
Well,
Getting under control.
initially in I was introduced to oils. So I became a heavy oil user, and I learned about like lavender and stress away and frankincense, and like the benefits of using essential oils in your body. And then in
Mhm.
2015, my aunt works for um, is in the network marketing industry, and she was in the
Mhm.
middle of transitioning from the company she was in into this other company. And of course, being that she's in the industry, I'd heard a lot about many different network marketing companies. And I was like, well, so when she said to me, Miss, you need to look at what this is, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, I need to look at what this is. But she said she
Scare
said
me.
for real, like I don't know a lot about it. I'm just learning, it's NRF2 activation. And I was like, okay, whatever. There's science behind it. And like, I'm sipping my wine. Whatever. Absolutely. So she sends me the link and I watch it and I was like, yeah, right. And then I thought at the worst that like, I said to my husband, if she's doing this and this is good and she's made millions and I don't jump in on this one, I'm going to hate myself. So it was like we talk about timing, right? Because he was having to go back to work. We were out, like he had been off for 9 months. We had we had lived our savings away being a family. And all I could think was, if she can do this, I can do this. And she's going to do this for me. She's going to teach me and I'm going to be a millionaire and you're not going to have to go to work and I won't have to go to the psych ward because you'll raise our kids for me. I can just die. Like, that's
Yeah.
great. I'll set up an income. And if I die, we're good. We're set. And I mean, so we jumped in, we looked, we had 6 weeks of researching and reading the science, reading the literature. I bought into this LifeVantage business
Hmm.
and very naively thinking it was going to change the world. But in that January, we introduced Physique, this weight loss line. So
Hmm.
shake, fat burn, probiotic, and a cleanse. Actually, I don't even think we introduced the cleanse at that point. I think it was just the 3 products.
Yeah.
And I looked in the mirror and went, uh-oh, I know a girl who needs weight loss. This is how I'm going to make my money. So here I am importing in my weight loss line. And I thought I'd enter the competition, but I was way too introverted still at that point to enter because we had the physique competition at that time too. And I got the products in and I can't even remember when they arrived, probably like early January. And right away, I introduced the probiotic into my body because
Hmm.
the probiotic I was carrying around was garbage. It was like, it worked, don't get me wrong, but it was like I'd have to take double the dose. It was around $150 a month. I had a little portable cooler in an ice pack that I carried around my stupid probiotics in if I went
Yeah,
anywhere.
right. It's so good that we don't have to worry about having to put them in the fridge. I love that so
Yeah.
much about our products.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. I didn't even know at the time that there was such a thing as a good shelf-stable probiotic. I'd always been told
Mhm.
they need to be kept in the fridge. I gotta change the view because man, the glare. That they needed to be in the fridge in order for the probiotic to work and blah 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 blah. I had no idea about like I could go on, so stop
Yeah.
me, but I had no idea that there was such a thing as enteric coating and that, most of the probiotic I was taking was dying off in my stomach. And I'm taking probiotics because I think that I need them in order to heal my gut, in order
Hmm.
to put this disease away, I had no idea the connection between mental health and your gut at all. Zero, still at that point.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so I get them.
Huge.
I start taking the probiotics. I start drinking this shake because, it's a shake and it tasted
It is
delicious.
huge.
And yeah, it's not a meal replacement, but I was like, whatever. I didn't drink or eat breakfast in the first place, and I never have. But I'll talk about that after. I could be like
I remember you
bounce around,
telling me
bounce around,
that.
bounce around. Yeah, no.
I really do remember. I remember when I spoke to you last January when I started my transformation. You just said I never used to have breakfast, and I introduced just a shake in for my breakfast, and that's what I did too. And I ended up losing a lot of weight because you're just kickstarting your metabolism. And I never had appetite for breakfast, but just having that shake, it's like you're drinking something. It wasn't like chewing, so I could do
Yeah.
it.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly it. Most people don't want to eat breakfast, but we live in this society that says breakfast is the most important meal. Get your oatmeal and you get your cereal or whatever the shit you're eating, right? For me, it was like, I don't want to. It makes me feel gross. It throws my whole day off. It's terrible. It literally would ruin my day if I had to eat breakfast. And my husband's a breakfast eater. So he'd always be like, the reason you're gaining all the weight, well, he'd never say that, but you know what I mean? Like he would educate me on the importance of breakfast and I'd educate him on the importance of me not eating it because then I'd be locked in the bathroom for the rest of the day. So I drink
Yeah.
this shake. I love it. And yeah, some people do. That's just their bodies. My daughter has to
Yeah.
consume when she wakes up too. I don't. I don't have to consume until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My body literally has no need, which is why intermittent fasting became so amazing because finally I was like, look here, scientific evidence. Don't need to eat all day, every day. I can intermittent fast. And that's kind of what I was living. So
Yeah.
probiotics into my body. this shake into my body, right? And I started noticing my clothes were fitting. Like 3 weeks in, I was like, man, my clothes feel better. I feel better. I feel good. I hadn't had any, I'm knocking on wood, I hadn't had any panic attacks at that point, and that was 3 weeks since putting
Okay.
this probiotic into my body. And I don't know if it was the probiotic or the distraction, because at the same time I was doing this business and I was telling my friends, oh my goodness, this weight loss line's been introduced. Oh my goodness, we got to get in on this. You got to try this, because it was weight loss, right? And I was losing weight. I think I'd lost 18 pounds in 22 days. 18 pounds in 22 days. That was like the kicker for me. And then, I mean, I don't exercise. Lots of people do. It's not for me. It's not my thing. I get no joy out of cardio. I get no joy out of lifting weights. I get no joy out of exercise, period. Even the word makes me feel dirty inside. I hate it. So, so I just living my life, eating better, not, not eating my emotions, being distracted by the business, by taking this good probiotic, by putting the anxiety attacks away, by introducing healthy food into my body, I was able to kickstart my metabolism. When my metabolism started moving, my weight came off.
Okay. And were you taking medication for anxiety at the time? Like when you started this, or you were still taking it regularly, or yeah?
Yeah, I was using my Zoloft, and then towards the end, I realized like I was forgetting to take it. So I was taking Zoloft and Ativan. One, like obviously one a day at that time. And they say Ativan's really addicting. I never got addicted to it. Thankfully, I never had a problem I could go with or without. So it became an as needed thing. It still is an as needed thing. I obviously keep them as like a safety blanket. I don't respond to them the same way I did. Now, if I take one, I definitely have to go to bed. They don't make me feel awesome. But back then I needed them. They made me feel calm. I could breathe. But I wasn't taking Ativan through this probiotics. I didn't have to take the Ativan. I flushed the Zoloft. I hated them. They made me feel like a zombie. I don't recommend anybody do that. Do not flush your medications down the toilet. That is not your decision. It was a terrible withdrawal. I felt like junk taking them out of my body. I probably should have tapered them off, but I mean, I can't go back. I did what I did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I never took another Zoloft. I never took another anti-anxiety medication after that. And I had the Ativan on hand. And, my panic attacks, I went from having like sometimes three a day. And I mean, when I say panic attacks, people are like, I get anxiety, my heart flutters. No, like I would spend 45 minutes throwing up and shaking and it just uncontrollably, it was awful. It was awful, like at the maximum point. And I'd know the first one would come. And then I'd recover and I'd be tired. I'd be so tired. And I would know that another one was coming. I wouldn't know when, but I would know that another one was coming. And I would work myself into this state. So there's the next one, right? And then I'd know another one was coming. And it would be like my kid would say, can I go outside and play? And I'd have a panic attack. Because no, you can't go outside and play. I can't be out there to watch you. That's impossible. You can't be out there. That's not safe. I can't step out my front doors, because if you're down the street playing and I have to go to the bathroom, I can't be in both places. I can't be in both places, right? So
I remember you were saying that you couldn't really sign up to activities.
nope.
Sorry.
No, they
Sorry.
didn't. That's okay. They didn't get to do swimming lessons. They did when their dad would be home, or if like my mom or my sister was around to, take them, but otherwise no. They didn't do absolutely anything. We did survival, and I felt so badly about that, because the people around me, their kids did everything, every sport, every swimming lesson. They had activities out the yin yang, and here I am, like I can hardly make supper. So I was never able to get out of the cycle, because I was always so miserable at myself. I was so angry at my lack of abilities that I was never able to see, like, hey, how strong are you for getting up and getting dressed today? How strong are you for putting a healthy meal on the table today? Look at your kids. They are alive. They are good, humble, kind children. They're good. And you did this. You did this despite the fact that you were broken.
Absolutely. You should pat yourself on the back. And actually,
I do
Karen, what you've been
now.
doing, hugs for you. And so you're so courageous to even share this. Like, this is why we're doing this, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was saying to you earlier, like I forget everything. Well, I don't forget. I 100% know, but I choose not to go back there because the one thing people don't recognize with like mental health diseases and, intestinal diseases, like I have fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia
I
is,
didn't even know you had that till
yeah,
today.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't go loud with it. I think that because I don't know, it's such a broad term and people deal with it in such a worse way than I do. For me, I don't live with the chronic pain. I live with the chronic fatigue side of things, but my body has a lot of catching up to do. I was in a lot of pain and a lot of, you know, my cortisol levels were constantly out of fluctuation. My serotonin levels haven't been right since I was in my 20s, and they're doing good now because of the probiotics, right? Because the gut to brain connection, without a healthy gut to brain connection, probiotics, you are your serotonin is created in the gut, and that's how it's
Mhm.
transmitted into our brain. So bad gut, no serotonin. It explains everything behind why I felt the way I felt and why I dealt with the way I dealt. But now, like even 3 years after this whole experience, 3 years later, like I've traveled to corporate conventions. I drive everywhere I can drop and go. My life is normal in every sense of the sense, right? Like I am a normal human being who has ups and downs with her health. I don't live in that health crisis, but my body remembers. My
Mhm.
body knows it as this trauma, as this experience that I went through. So there's tinges, and fibromyalgia is like a trauma-based disease, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word there. It is 100% your body's response to having gone through a traumatic event and multiple panic attacks a day and, poor gut health, like this inflammatory bowel disease. They kind of they left their mark on my body in the form of fibromyalgia. So I I I live with that in the sense that I have constant nausea, or some days I'll have vertigo and dizziness, or I have chronic fatigue because I don't have I don't have good cortisol levels in my body. If I didn't have the probiotics in my body, I don't know what it would look like. If I didn't drink, I take Axio. That's what I use now. I use Axio because the B vitamins in there. I get B vitamin injections, and I drink Axio because it's got B vitamins and it's got L-theanine, which helps with my brain. And there's just like what I learned from these products and how they could help me. That's been the game changer, in my
Mhm.
opinion. I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody else. You make your own decisions, but when you do the research and you look at the literature and you look at the science behind just L-theanine, or magnesium or quercetin, like quercetin on its own is incredible antioxidant capabilities, and B vitamins, we all know B vitamins are good for us. They're important for energy, for sleep, for weight loss. Incredible for weight loss. If your B levels are
Mhm.
shit, you're going to be, we call that the menopause fat or the midsection fat. No, right?
Yeah.
B vitamins help your body push that out. So another great reason for a B vitamin injection.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
you were just on the probiotic and the Axio? Those were the two
Hmm.
items, and the shake,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. And the shake. I still drink a shake. I'm actually excited. I know on the American side of things that we have launched a new shake. I'm excited
Yes,
to taste it. It's less sweet, they say, and
I
it's
have
got
it because I was
18 grams.
I
Oh, and
it tastes like cranberry, sorry, caramel, in my opinion. That's what I told
oh,
them. It's
yeah.
actually, I don't know if it's less sweet. I don't find it less sweet. It just tastes different.
Hmm.
It tastes like caramel a little bit. I don't know if you like that, but I loved our old shake taste too. So they're both good.
Oh,
This one you
yeah.
can just mix with water and it tastes fine. Where the other one, if you just mix it with water,
No.
it wasn't good. This one, if you just mix it with water, if you're on the go, it tastes good. So
Oh,
I
I
like
never
it.
ever did that because it was never right. Like if I was going to make a breakfast, obviously at 12 grams of protein, it didn't have enough ingredients.
You're like, where did she go? I was just gonna say, I just
Oh,
made myself one. This
nice.
is the color that mine
Exactly.
looks like.
Yeah. So
It's like
mine
full
always
of
had blueberries
berries.
and spinaches and yeah,
Yeah,
because if I'm going to
yeah,
drink it, I might as well have healthy, um, well, whatever. People put shit in their shakes. That's, you don't drink it
yeah,
plain. I don't drink my shakes plain. I'm not even, and I don't drink meal replacement shakes. They're not for me. They just
yeah.
don't, they taste like junk, I find. Anyways,
Chalk.
so they do. They're greedy. They're, yeah, chalk.
Yeah,
Is that what you said? Yeah, they're really, really
yeah,
gritty. I can't
yeah.
stand them. So this one I liked that I had already drank, like I had had Isogenics before. I had had Shakeology. I'd had all these shakes and
Hmm.
I had a collection of shakes. My husband's like, how many shakes are you going to buy? And I'm like, I don't know. But this one, I liked that it was fluffy. Anyways, it was good.
Yeah.
I know that Nerf 2, like NRF2 activation is like our flagship and it is the most incredible thing. And then we had NRF 1 join into the thing and I never ever like even the fat burn, I never took the fat burn because when you suffer with anxiety or mental health, you're like, I don't want to take a fat burner that's going to cause jitters, that's going to make me shake. I'm not going to feel awesome.
But
Uh,
then you did take it and it didn't cause that, right? It
no, I
didn't.
did. No, I just recently, actually, I did a course of the fat burners. Just
Mhm.
because I've got this last, like I said, I've lost 67 pounds over 2 years, right, give or take, and I've maintained it off with no exercise just by
You look
eating,
incredible. Like
eating.
you really.
Thanks.
I
I
met you
what
in
I
person. It was yeah. We were in Anaheim. I think we
Yep.
met in person.
Well, we've met in a
Yeah.
few places, but
Incredible.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that what it is for me is I look healthy.
Hmm.
First, you're
Yeah.
not. Some people are not meant to be 140 pounds.
Hmm.
Some people are not meant to be like I was always 130, 120, 130 pounds until I had babies. But I was
Yes.
sick. I was not healthy. My body didn't feel good. And now, yes, okay, I carry an extra 10 to 20 pounds, give or take. But I carry it well, and I carry
I
it with
like
like,
extras,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's not even like I might not. I like that I can tuck them into the leggings now, and I like that I can tuck, right? Like high-waisted pants are back in style. All of these things work to hide that mummy tummy, but I wanted to see, I ran a course of the fat burns. I wound up losing 3 inches anyways using the fat burners, and I never
Yeah.
had a panic attack throughout it. They never bothered me. They were great. And I did the cleanse once too, because again, when you have inflammatory bowel disease, you don't throw cleanses in your body just willy-nilly. Never bothered me. It was fine. I actually felt
Yes.
really great after I used it. I know that that's not a product we carry anymore, but it's just worth
I
mentioning
know
that
it's
do your due
dropped this one.
diligence, look like,
In
right?
fact, I ordered a bunch just to have some. But so the prebiotic, I wanted to share a little bit because Melissa is like a wealth of knowledge. She loves it, all the information. She knows all the details. She knows exactly how they work in your system, and she trains us too. So I love hearing you talk about it. So prebiotics, tell me. I know information, but I want to hear it from you.
Do you know that I ordered the prebiotics? They're on their way. I didn't make it to the last corporate event. I wish I had because I would have bought them and brought them home with me because prebiotics are something that I use in my life. So I was really excited that this was going to be something that we were going to be adding to our line because the number one thing for me is gut health. Like
Hmm.
that is like the probiotic is the number one product I move because I think it's like the critical component. If your gut isn't healthy, guess what you're not absorbing? Nerve 2.
Nutrients,
Nerf
nothing.
1, your
Yeah.
shake. Anything you put in your body is going in one hole and out the next. Like it is not staying. And if you can get the probiotics in there and you can heal, and some people are using great probiotics, and I'm always like, that's fantastic. Is it enterically coated? What's that? It's that lining, the beta glucan lining that allows it to go through your stomach. And um, like prebiotics, we first started talking about prebiotics when we talked about our skincare because our facial cleanser has prebiotics in it because our whole body is a microbiome. And oh man, there was so much science that we were introduced to when we started that my brain is so busy and I love getting caught up in it. But when we introduced prebiotics, uh, I was like, okay, because prebiotics are found in like sauerkraut and garlic and
Mhm.
onions and shit that you don't eat on a regular basis, or if you do, I mean, you're you, they got to be raw. You got to have them in their raw effect, like sauerkraut, raw. Like you're
Yeah.
not
You
cooking a
got me thinking of some
prebiotic.
onion. That's what I face. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
um, it- they're in the the soil. Like they're in the gross things that you wouldn't eat on a regular basis. You're not going to go grab a clove of garlic and chew on it unless you're sick, right? Like it's just not going to happen. But garlic is also an NRF2 activator. So, I mean, again, you're still not going to go and grab it. So when they talked about prebiotics, I was like, tell me more. I need to know. And so I tuned in and I watched the science seminar. Thankfully, we stream our corporate events, but I watched the science seminar on it and I was completely in love, and I hadn't even had my hands on the product yet. I was just like, oh my goodness, are you serious? Because prebiotics, when you take probiotics, okay, you fill your guts with this healthy bacteria, and this healthy bacteria needs to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it eats?
No.
Prebiotics.
Prebiotics, I guess. Yeah. It's like
Prebiotics.
it's like a foundation kind of where they need to go, and like fertilizer is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yes,
right?
That is absolutely it. So prebiotics feed this healthy bacteria. What they also do is they help you process out the bad bacteria. Say when you add a prebiotic into your intestinal tract, I'm trying to think of how I can do this without grossing people out. Sometimes people emit an odor that's very sulfurish, and you wish that they would leave the room. You wish that they didn't smell like that, or that they hadn't eaten what they ate because they stink. They are farting and they're not telling anybody, and it smells real bad. Well, that sulfur enzyme or that sulfur bacteria is always in our gut. It's always there, it's always present, and something you've ate has fed it. Something as simple as well water. A lot of people are just like, what is wrong with me? And it's their well water, because well water contains that bacteria. So when it goes in, when you drink it, obviously it moves through your body and it sits into your intestinal tract and it responds. Well, what a prebiotic does is it provides acidity.
Yeah.
In a good sense, right? Like people are always like, I have heartburn, I don't want acid. I have Crohn's, I don't want acid. And it's always like, you know what? We're not giving you acid. What we're doing is we're providing prebiotics in a slightly higher or lower pH level to change the acidity of your colon in order to kill off the bacteria that you don't want fed. You need good bacteria, you need bad bacteria. The same as we need free radicals. We have to have toxins, like we have to have shitty cells in order for our body to move things like broken toxic cells out of our body. You need some scavengers. And in your gut, you need a balance of good and bad. You can't just have good, you have to have bad. So the idea behind the prebiotic is it's feeding the good, but it's also moving the food away from the bad bacteria. So if you say you can't have lactose and you eat cheese, you're going to smell like rotten eggs. Well, the prebiotic would help move that rotten egg smell out. It's going to be acid in that is going to help take and clean that specific bacterial out of your body. You're going to move sludge out, right? Like we carry around so much toxic colon sludge inside of our bodies. A lot of people, very few people, unless they do hydrotherapy up their colon or, they're taking a cleanse on a regular basis, a daily basis, you're building up inside of your intestines. We all are. It's just a part of life. So probiotics, prebiotics, cleansing, they all help move it out. If that helps.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Thank you. Because it's a newer product, so it's nice for people to learn kind of what it does. But...
yeah, and it's such a small amount. And it tastes like, apparently it tastes like oranges.
Yeah, no, it tastes good. It's kind of like a juice, I guess. Yeah.
And you drink it before supper to help you feel full so that you eat less for dinner. So I understand how this works. Like our new weight loss line, what I really liked about the fact that it's just the probiotic, the prebiotic, and the fat burner, the prebiotic, and the shake. I like that they took the probiotic out, because for me, the probiotic is a standalone product. It's something that you can take. It's not meant for weight loss. Probiotics are meant for daily life. They're like a...
But you lost your weight on your weight loss. I don't know if I agree with that one. I like it with it.
Because I healed my gut, right? Like, because it's a necessary component to a daily life. It's a necessary component to moving sludge out of your body. And if you're not carrying around 12 pounds of sludge, you're obviously losing weight. And if your gut is working optimally, your metabolism is working better, and your body's processing the things like the fat burners, and it's absorbing the nutrients in the shake, and it's absorbing what's happening with the prebiotics. But it needs to be, I don't want to market it as a weight loss product, because obviously it's not meant for weight loss. It's meant for biohacking our gut. Just like Nerf 2 is meant for biohacking our cells, and Nerf 1 is meant for biohacking our mitochondria, right? And omegas
It's
are
like
meant
an
for our
everyday
brain and
thing.
our heart. We need the gut. There's 4 tires. 1,
Oh,
Nerf 2,
yeah.
Nerf 1, omegas, and our gut. We need all 4 tires, and we don't
Yeah.
need a fat burner. We don't need a shake. Are they great? Absolutely. Do they 100% matter for this physique challenge? Yes. Yes, you should
Yeah.
utilize the products, but I like that inside of our weight management line that we have a prebiotic, a shake, and a fat burner. And then
Yeah.
separately we offer right? So yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like the probiotic is like a kind of like a part of your daily taking care of your
Mm-hmm.
body. And so if you, let's say you went away on vacation, or you had like, over this winter you gained weight and you want to target like a few months to lose weight, that's when you're going to take the the weight loss like package.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what I see what you're saying. You would add those few items to your that month or a couple of months, and then you won't need them anymore. You'll go back to just using the probiotic, because that's just part of your natural taking care of your health. And yeah, that
Or
makes
you grow
sense.
into it. Like I love the shake, so I drink a
Yeah,
shake. I mean, I
I
might
also
not drink a
do
shake every
that.
morning now, but like I drink at least, my kids even drink a shake after school for their
That's-
snacks. Like that's a part of my life. I don't consider it a weight loss thing. I
Yeah,
consider it, that's my meal. I am using good, clean protein to compensate for the fact that I don't enjoy breakfast, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
It's my brunch, or it's like lately it's been I want it to be my supper, because supper's been so heavy because it's winter and spring is coming, they say. But I
hmm
feel so heavy when I get into bed that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna start drinking a shake. I'll start eating, I'll have whatever brunch and then a late snack, and then I'm gonna drink a shake before bed so that I feel lighter,
yeah. But
right?
I forgot to mention where you're from. You're in Alberta, dear.
Oh,
Winter.
Red Deer.
Yeah.
-30.
No.
That's our
Yeah.
that's our go-to for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yesterday we walked to school because it was only I think it was -15. So I think that's like what, -22 or something Fahrenheit if there's Americans watching. Yeah.
So can you just let us know? I know they're gonna be like in their little swimsuits, their dresses. Like they don't understand -30.
No. No, it's like
I want to
-22.
wrap
You're
up.
not doing anything.
I want to wrap up because I don't want it to be too long, but I want
Yeah.
to just maybe just touch base with, like, again, just like overall kind of what this has done for you, like, and your takeaway, like I guess just in general biohacking, like just maybe talk about just what you've learned about biohacking your body, like how important it is
Do you
as
know
we
that
turn
I think
into.
that if I had come into this, because I'm a very green personality, so I'm very facts and details. Like I said, it took a lot of time before I even decided that this was something that I wanted to put into my body, because I think you need to be educated
Hmm.
and aware of what's happening inside of you, or your life. Like you need to be, can I fit in a shake? Is this something that I'm willing to do? Do I have a blender? Like taking little things and like just like, right, but it's at the basis of it all. Don't buy a shake if you don't own a blender, because it's just going to
Yeah.
sit in your cupboard. You're not going to use it. I like when
Mhm.
I have conversations with people, I think one of the most important things when I talk to like my clients is understanding where they're coming to me from. When people talk
Mhm.
about pain points, I talk about life points. Like, what kind of life are you living? What kind of human are you? Because, you know, I was saying to you earlier, there's 4 parts of who we are. There's the spiritual, there's the emotional, there's the mental, and then there's the physical. And we really, when we work with people, we need to work at all sides of that, because I, like with my weight loss, I didn't lose 67 pounds because I drank a shake and took a probiotic every day. Yes, it helped. It helped
Yes.
heal the physical side of me. I was able to lose the weight because I stopped eating a bag of chips in bed every night. I stopped shoving my face full of chocolate cake. I stopped pounding down the ice cream, you know, because I healed. I started working on the emotional side of things. I was able to let go of that need for food because
Mm-hmm.
I started working on, you know, incorporating prayer and meditation into my life. I was able to start healing the spiritual side of things, you know, where you lose
Yeah.
faith in your ability as a human being. Where are you going to learn that from? And like, and the mental side of things, I stopped having panic attacks. My body stopped being in this constant state of trauma. So even now, I think that my body is at this plateau, and I'm going to need to do this transform your physique challenge just to kick myself off of the plateau. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably going to have to introduce exercise because the trauma in my
Walk in the
body,
snow. That's like enough exercise. Just try to walk like 20,
yeah,
50 feet in the snow.
walking to school and back. We bought a treadmill, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna love this treadmill. I loved it for about 3 days and was like, oh my gosh, I
Dance. Do you
hate
like
this. Blah. No, dance. Yeah,
dancing?
you know what? I dance around in my kitchen with my kids, but that's what I mean. Like, just even that little bit is enough to change the habit that my body is in,
Yeah.
right? Like my body is habitually sedentary. It loves to sit on the couch and hang out there. And I mean, I could
Mhm.
do leg lifts, you know, while I'm laying there. I could learn to lay on the floor and maybe do
Yeah.
some crunches to get my whatever carrot stick. I don't live like that, so it's real hard for me. But like the four components of your body, you got to work on all four. So that was the biggest thing that I took away from
Great.
biohacking was the four tires for my life, Nerf 2, Nerf 1. Like I take the Nerf 1, love it for mitochondrial support. I drink Axio, which is my Nerf 2. It's also for my L-theanine in my brain. Gut health, probiotics, now prebiotics,
Yes.
adding them in, you know, and omegas, because omegas, I need healthy brain
Huge.
channels. Like I absolutely need healthy brain channels.
Mhm.
Because my with fibromyalgia you have things like brain fog and it's like squirrel. It's kind of like having ADD. You get really lost if you don't have notes. You get lost in your thoughts. So I might be incredibly smart, I just am not able to get the information out the same way I used to. But so four tires for your body, four tires for your healing process. If you're not working
Yes.
on all four, you're not, I don't care. You could be a
Hold on.
100 pounds
Mind,
over.
body, and soul, and
Yeah,
spiritual. What's the
so I
fourth?
say
Sorry.
mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Okay. Okay.
Because mental health is much different than spiritual health, right? What
Okay.
you have happening in your soul and your emotional health is different than your physical health. Like they're all
Okay.
their own key component. I think that if you want to lose 50 pounds, you need to look at why you're eating what you're eating more than what you're eating.
There's no magic pill. Like there is reasons behind it. Absolutely. I
Nope, there's
100% agree
not.
with that.
It doesn't, you can eat chocolate cake. It just needs to be made with zucchini and sweet potatoes, right? Like it doesn't need to be filled with sugar. Sugar's awful for you, but you just, if you look at why you're eating the chocolate cake for breakfast versus, right? Like, why am I
Yeah.
eating this? Am I eating this because I didn't prep healthy food? Am I eating this because I feel sad? Am I eating this because it's going to make me feel good? Or am I eating
Hmm.
this because it's going to give me energy? Number one reason we turn to shit food is because it gives us instant energy. Well, guess what? I'm going to give you Nerf 1 instead. That's
Yeah.
going to give you some instant energy. Let me introduce you to
Yeah.
energy, right? Or let me give you a caffeinated Axio packet.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think that the one thing that if I ever left with anybody watching this, and I mean share this, is that just because you were doesn't mean you are. And that's not profound in any way. I was broken. I
Hmm.
was falling apart. I wasn't able to be the best mother. I wasn't able to be the best friend. I wasn't able to be the best wife. Just because I wasn't doesn't mean I am, right? Like I still have to work on that in my
Just a
own.
little chapter of your life, you know?
Yeah. 3 years later, I still am not the best wife. I am still not the best mother. In fact, I think
No,
I'm
sorry.
worse. Now that I'm a lot more active and opinionated, I'm like, I got feelings about that. I'm going to share
Yeah.
them. I'm not just going to bed. I have some
Don't be
thoughts.
so hard on yourself. Remember,
Yeah.
self-love.
And that's exactly it. I had to learn to forgive myself for all that I told myself I was responsible for. It's not like my husband ever said, "You're a terrible mother" to our kids. Like, he said, "You're sick. You need some help. We need some
Sounds like a
help
very
here."
patient person.
Yeah, he's my husband. So outwardly, he's definitely patient. Inwardly, and here, he's my husband,
Yeah.
just like I'm his wife, right? I think that anybody who watches this who's like, "I struggle with anxiety," you know what? Yeah, you do, and you're gonna for the rest of your life. It's not just gonna go away because, because I said take a probiotic. It's gonna
Mhm.
go away because you're healing your gut, you're healing your body, you're healing these multiple areas of your life. You want to lose 67 pounds? You could probably do it in a year. Go ahead, exercise, take the weight loss products, utilize them. I have seen people lose up like a quadrillion inches and 4,000 pounds, and they win these competitions because they made the key critical changes. They buckled down, they worked out for 2 hours every day. Who has time for that shit? Not me, but you might. Go work
Yeah.
out, take the fat burners, use the shake to their
Well,
optimals.
$5,000 is good motivation if that's what's gonna, do that.
$5,000 in a free trip to Kansas City? Yes,
Yeah.
it's incredible motivation for that. If you're here to watch it about anxiety, message me. I'll happily
Yeah.
share all of my quirky, sarcastic comments on how to overcome anxiety in your life, because it's overcomable. I was locked in my house, looking at a psych ward, laid down, ready to die.
Mm.
And I got up. I got up because somebody showed me a business. I got up because they gave me a product that worked. I got up, and here I
Yeah.
am. I still have it. That PTSD and that trauma is still in my body, but I know how to overcome it now. I know to breathe through it. I know to
Yeah.
talk to somebody, and I can share it publicly. I mean, woohoo, woohoo.
You're very brave to do that, seriously. And we love you. You are like literally our to-go-to person all the time, like for a lot of things. And we really do cherish you. So thank you.
I like all of you guys too. I like being put to use. When you lay here, when you're stuck like doing nothing, you are stuck with your head. I think you got to be
Yeah.
busy. So I love it. I
Yeah.
love doing. Am I back? There's like
Yeah.
so many notifications. We have March Madness launching. We have the
I
weight
see them
loss
all.
competition, and my phone is like, I'm as a leader in Canada. It's just like lit
Yeah.
up with. I'm like, okay, I'll get to you in a second.
I
Sorry, I'm
know.
helping. I'm helping everybody right now. I can't help you. Get off. Get off.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This was really good. It was so nice to be able to speak to you, and
Thank you.
I really hope that this reaches the right person. Ultimately, that's the goal. I want people
Share,
to
share, share,
share this
share,
with
share.
people. Hopefully, the right people that needs this see it and reach out,
Yeah.
and we will provide information. That's all we want to do is help,
Tag me.
right?
If you need to know something, tag me. I can promise you I'm an open book. When it comes to this area of my life, I'm an open book because I know somebody out there needs to know something that I know. It's not just
Absolutely.
about products. It's about being in a situation with somebody who knows what you're going through.
Yeah.
Don't go looking for weight loss from somebody who hasn't lost weight. Don't go looking for help with anxiety from somebody who doesn't suffer with anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have that common ground, and it's just a better relationship too,
You need
right?
to have lived it, right?
Yeah.
Like, or know somebody who's lived it.
Yeah. Like a
It's
family member.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to take financial advice from somebody who's living in a box,
Yeah. That's right.
right?
Well,
If you can't cook craft dinner, you're not teaching me how to cook in my house. So go get your advice from people who know what the hell they're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thank you so much.
Yes, thank
Stay
you.
warm.
Yes. Let's go find out what March
And
Madness is all about.
let's go see. Talk
Bye.
to you soon. Bye.